This morning, crews are continuing their search for a missing 2-year-old who is believed to have been taken to a private landfill near Pasadena, Texas.
New information comes in regarding the attack on Paul Pelosi and the charges that the suspect is facing in court.
With just a week left before Election Day, a number of politicians are hitting the campaign trail to make their names heard as the clock ticks down.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV News at Noon. I'm Talea Munson.
And I'm Peter Rabel.
The search for a missing 2-year-old has moved to a Pasadena landfill as the investigation continues. CNN's Zach Taratari has the story.
Just off East Highway 6 in Alvin, EquiSearch crews looking for any sign of 2-year-old Nadia Lee, who police say was last seen in her father, Jiren Lee's Pasadena apartment. Investigators say video shows Lee walking around a complex dumpster, pushing a stroller.
Certainly hope it won't be here, but just in case it is, we got a lot of work ahead of us.
EquiSearch's Tim Miller says the area they're searching that's been roped off for about a week is the size of a football field and could require them to dig 8 feet deep.
We're going to have 2 big track hoes and then and 1 bulldozer.
Nadia's father, Jiren, is charged with the murder of Nadia's mother, Nancy Reed, who police say was strangled to death.
Early on, the very first day, it was pretty apparent that it probably wasn't going to end good. And
Miller says EquiSearch crews are looking for anything related to the case that could help them, including addressed mail, as they continue their comprehensive search.
18 people that are literally just cutting open every bag.
As crews search for answers.
I'm hoping that ending's not going to end up in a landfill, but for right now, wherever the ending ends up, you know, it needs to have an ending.
Yesterday, El Paso border agents fired pepper balls at a crowd of migrants after the assault of an agent. Authorities say migrants were attempting to cross into the U.S. from Juarez when an individual attacked an agent with a flagpole. Border Patrol officers responded with pepper balls, causing the crowd to disperse and cross back into Mexico. The alleged attack was made by Venezuelan nationals who were holding a demonstration at the Rio Grande border. Takeoff, former member of a Grammy-nominated rap group Trio Migos, dies at the age of 28 after a shooting outside of a Houston bowling alley this morning. Reports of a shooting at 810 Billiards and Bowling was reported after 2:30 a.m. where dozens of people gathered on a balcony on the 3rd floor. Once officers arrived, they discovered 1 man dead and 2 others were injured. A police spokesperson said that security guards in the area heard the shooting but did not see who did it. No arrests have been confirmed.
The ongoing Boy Scouts investigation leads to the first person being charged. Former Scout leader Mark Chapman pleads guilty to sex abuse. On Monday, Chapman became the first person charged after the Boy Scouts of America launched the investigation of possible sexual abuse of scouts dating back years. He pleaded guilty to sexually abusing 2 boys in Michigan more than 20 years ago. He initially was charged with nearly a dozen counts of sexual abuse. Chapman could spend decades behind bars. He will be sentenced in December and has agreed to register as a sex offender and have electronic monitoring for the rest of his life. The investigation for more than 5,000 other claims of sexual abuse sent from the Boy Scouts will continue.
The United States Food and Drug Administration will hold a meeting of the medical devices panel today to review data related to pulse oximeters. Oximeters work by sending light through a patient's finger, recording the way the light is absorbed, thereby reading blood oxygen levels. If the device is not properly adjusted for varied skin tones, the oximeter may contain a flawed reading. The panel looks to discuss potential recommendations for using oximeters on patients with darker skin tones. The panel will hear from regulators, researchers, and industry developers in an ongoing investigation of the accuracy and performance of pulse oximeters.
Well, you know, speaking of light, next week is daylight savings. So, but last night it got pretty dark and cool at around 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I was driving home. It was like 7:30. The sun was already down. I was starting to think it is finally feeling like we're getting to the end of the year. I always kind of wait for that time. It's my favorite part is when it's darker more than it's light. But anyway, I think we can get an update on our weather conditions and see some stuff about this from our weather anchor, Nick Ogele. Nick, what's the weather like?
We're looking calm today. A lot of us woke up to around 65 degrees. It's going to stay in the 60s as we look at today, what we have today in store for us. 65, and then tonight we're looking at 61. It's going to cool down quite a bit. It's going to be around 80% humidity, and look for that to continue through the week as it gets a little, have sticky nights, have a little warmer, more humid nights to come throughout the week. Look for that. And then tomorrow, much like my fantasy team did, it will heat up. 77 degrees, and it's gonna feel like that with 10-mile-per-hour winds. We're gonna get into some more changes in the weather just a little bit. Come back to me later. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Nick. New information on the attack on Paul Pelosi has surfaced as the suspect is facing charges for his crimes. This story is coming up next on ntTV News at Noon.
And the clock is ticking for politicians as Election Day is just 1 week away. We'll have a story about this coming up right after the break. Stick with us.
Can I see your voter registration, please? All right, you're good. No registration, no entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
Has the weight of stress and anxiety ever felt too heavy to overcome? Wish there was a safe place to confide in? Wish granted. At UNT, we offer counseling and testing services to students located on the 3rd floor of Chestnut Hall. UNT, we're here for you.
Welcome back to ntTV News at Noon.
More details have been released related to the violent attack on Paul Pelosi. The suspect, David DePape, allegedly planned to hold Nancy Pelosi hostage in order to break her kneecaps. He is now being charged with both state and federal crimes, including charges for attempted murder and attempted kidnapping. CNN's Josh Campbell has the story.
I am here today to formally announce charges against Mr. David DePape in connection with the violent attack on Mr. Pelosi.
The San Francisco District Attorney charging the man accused of attacking Paul Pelosi, the husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
The charges that we are filing today include attempted murder, residential burglary, assault with a deadly weapon, elder abuse, false imprisonment of an elder, as well as threats to a public official and their family.
Those are state charges. The Justice Department earlier charged DePape with 2 federal crimes: attempted kidnapping of a U.S. official, Nancy Pelosi, and assaulting a U.S. official's immediate family member. Authorities say the suspect brought 2 hammers, zip ties, rope, and a roll of tape with him to the Pelosi residence. San Francisco's district attorney now offering a chilling timeline about Paul Pelosi's face-to-face encounter with the alleged attacker, starting with the defendant allegedly breaking into the home through a rear glass door, before finding Mr. Pelosi sleeping on the 2nd floor. The DA saying the suspect woke Pelosi up and forced him out of bed. Mr. Pelosi attempted to get to an elevator in the home to reach a phone. The PAP allegedly blocked him. Pelosi eventually asked the suspect to let him use the bathroom, where he called 911 from his cell phone. 2 minutes after that call, police arrived. When they opened the door, they saw this.
The defendant was holding his hammer, which Mr. Pelosi appeared to be attempting to control by holding a portion of that hammer. The defendant then pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently struck him in the top of his head.
Authorities debunking right-wing conspiracy theories about Pelosi's attack, including that he knew the assailant, and making the suspect's motive crystal clear.
There is absolutely no evidence that Mr. Pelosi knew this man. As a matter of fact, the evidence indicates the exact opposite.
It appears as though this was based on his statements and comments that were made in that house during his encounter with Mr. Pelosi, that this was politically motivated.
The FBI's criminal complaint revealing the suspect told San Francisco police of his plans to hold Nancy Pelosi hostage and speak with her. He explained if she lied to him, he planned to break her kneecaps so she would have to be wheeled into Congress, telling police that scene would demonstrate to other members of Congress there were consequences to their actions.
DePape's arraignment is planned for later today. In the meantime, a speaker from Nancy Pelosi's office says that Paul Pelosi has undergone surgery and is making progress on what will likely be a long recovery.
Well, bad news for all of you students who signed up for an account with Chegg. The Federal Trade Commission says millions of students' personal data has been leaked due to the tech firm's lax security. The FTC has ordered that Chegg straighten its safeguards around its customers' data. Chegg offers textbook rentals as well as scholarship search services. This is not the first time that the company faces issues with security. Back in 2017, the company was hit with 4 breaches in security. The breaches have caused around 40 million of its customers to be at risk of leaking personal information, such as social security numbers, email addresses, and passwords. The FTC wants the company to take more protective action toward protecting its users' data and limiting the data it collects. Well, in an effort to make changes on inflation, we have 1 week into Election Day. Some major names are hitting the campaign trail in an effort to rally up some voters. President Biden will be in Florida today, and former President Obama will be in Nevada. CNN's Jessica Dean has the story.
Candidates in key races are making their final pitch to voters.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And receiving a boost from some big names.
Are you ready to go and vote?
Former President Barack Obama is set to stump for Democrats in Nevada tonight and Arizona tomorrow, 2 states critical to the party's path to retain control of the U.S. Senate. Those stops coming after he fired up crowds in Georgia, Wisconsin, and Michigan over the weekend, campaigning against Republican candidates like Herschel Walker and Senator Ron Johnson.
He's a celebrity who wants to be a politician. And we've seen how that goes. He's not the person who's thinking about you and knows you and sees you.
Meanwhile, President Joe Biden heads to Florida today, where he will rally with Senate hopeful Val Demings and the state's Democratic candidate for governor, Charlie Crist. And former Vice President Mike Pence will campaign in Georgia with Governor Brian Kemp, a candidate who's drawn the ire of former President Donald Trump. Another Republican at odds with Trump, Congresswoman Liz Cheney, travels to Michigan today to campaign for a Democrat, Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin. Cheney last week endorsing Slotkin, who's facing a competitive re-election race.
Right now, we are seeing record turnouts.
Re-election voting is surpassing 2018 levels. More than 21 million ballots have been cast across 46 states, including nearly 2.8 million early ballots in Florida and more than 1.6 million in Georgia.
For more information on how you can vote in this election, check out votetexas.gov.
Well, Talea, when I went out to vote, I had to go out to the bus stop, which is outside my apartment. So I had to walk through what is essentially just like some grass. And it's been really muddy out recently with all the rain that we've been getting. So do you know if it's gonna like get drier soon? I'm kind of tired of getting mud all over my shoes.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Me personally, I am not a big fan of rain, but I know someone who could let us know all that we need to know. Nick, how is the weather looking?
I'm not too big of a fan of rain myself, Talia, but I will get into where we will have some rain coming up. Welcome to the first day of November, everybody. It was quite calm. Quite calm start to it. Virtually no winds. Very calm. I hope you relish that, and I'll get into exactly why right now. October was our biggest month for tornadoes, with 146 recorded since 1880. Now, we didn't have any, and I take notice of that because we have either dodged a bullet or we are due for some. At least some severe weather and storms systems coming from the northwest, and they should be here Friday. But as we look across North Texas, we are looking still quite dry and everything. 60s all around, 65 in Denton. We're looking at 64 in Graham, Stevensville, 66, Gainesville, 63, Bowie, 65, as well as Dallas, 65, Fort Worth, 64, and Sulphur Springs, 66 also. Now, as we take a look at the rest of the state, looking at 63 here in Abilene, like I said, 65 in Denton. Up in Oklahoma City, looking at 65. You're looking to cool it down, take a trip to Amarillo with 57. Going downstairs in Austin, 64, and 65 in Houston as well. They are also expecting rain. Now, as we take a look at our 10-day forecast, we step out of the way here. We have Wednesday at 74. That is tomorrow. No rain. But then we start to pick up with that rain. We should be dry until Thursday. As you can see, there's still a chance. But 78 is our high for Thursday. 65 is the low. Friday, we're looking at 73, and that is when that storm should hit. 73 degrees, but 100% chance of rain. So if you have plans for that day, I hope they're inside. No, 68 on Saturday, and we should be dry by then. The storm shouldn't last for too long, so, continue your plans. I know we have homecoming here at UNC, so that is a good thing for that. 75 on Sunday with percents down to 2, all the way down to 2. And Monday, we're looking at 17% chance of rain with 76 as the high, 60 as the low. Back to 78 on Tuesday, and dry. Now with that rain, it should be about 1 to 2 inches, so look out for that. Wear your high boots that day, but get back to the sneakers for the rest of the day. Thank you for joining me for this weekend weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Nick. Good news for all of you Taylor Swift fans out there. The release of her record, Midnight, has shattered the charts. More on this after the break.
And researchers studying the virus RSV are said to have a vaccine ready by the middle of 2023. We'll have a story about that for you right here on ntTV News real soon, so be sure to stay with us.
It's that time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
That was a really good movie. Yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, so we have to watch the next one before next class, right? We do? I think so, but it's not on Netflix and it's not on Hulu, so... Man, I don't want to pay for that. So what do we do? You think there's a place we could go to get the movie? I'm not sure, maybe?
Oh, there's a place to get the movie.
Oh? Really?
Yeah, it's right here on campus. Come on, I'll show you.
Welcome back. Taylor Swift is topping charts once again, and fans couldn't be more excited. Swift is the first artist ever to hold all 10 spots on the Billboard Hot 100. The Billboard is a list that spans across all genres, as well as across all U.S. streaming, radio plays, and sales. Swift's newest album, Midnights, fills the top 10 list, led by Anti-Hero, the lead single. Swift also became Spotify's most streamed artist during the 24-hour period following the release of Midnights.
Elon Musk has officially taken over as owner of Twitter following his famous electric automotive company Tesla and its success. Not only that, but the company has already received major renovations to its board of directors. 4 of its top executives have been terminated. This is all according to securities filing on Monday. The filing says that all previous members of Twitter's board are no longer directors in accordance with its terms of the merger agreement. One of those terminated includes former CEO Parag Agrawal. One of the largest car manufacturing companies, General Motors, has stopped advertising on Twitter because of Twitter's new owner, Elon Musk. Elon Musk, known for his company Tesla, is also one of General Motors' leading competitors. The company GM made the announcement to stop its advertising this past Friday. GM made its decision while looking at Twitter's new direction. General Motors, the nation's largest automaker, says its platform on Twitter will be used to interact with customers only. 92% of Twitter's revenue is made up of advertising profit, but analysts are saying that GM will not be the last to stop its advertising because of the new changes. And a new adverse effects report obtained by digital health publication Stat says a promising experimental treatment for Alzheimer's disease from Eisai may have been the leading contributor to the study participant's death. They claim that an investigator that performed the study asserts that the study's participant died of brain bleeding and that Stat informed Eisai about the death. Eisai claims that there is a reasonable possibility for the experimental medicine to have contributed to the death, but there were other factors, such as the participants' alleged multiple falls, heart attack, respiratory infection, and mini stroke-like events. Eisai has turned down commenting further on this due to privacy issues related to the participant, but claims that they have an intense safety process to ensure the study is safe for participants. Stat says the death is still being currently investigated.
It is gearing up to be an eventful season of sickness as we reach the midst of fall. Some doctors are saying that it has been the worst they have seen. But it is not all bad news because we could have a new vaccine for the virus, RSV, as early as next fall, with 4 vaccines under review by the FDA and more than a dozen others in testing. These vaccines are designed to be a long-lasting injection that is given right after the child is born. A recent clinical trial showed that the new vaccine is up to 75% effective at warding off RSV infections. The infection itself targets infants and infects the lungs, causing a cough that could lead to severe complications such as pneumonia and inflammation. But this virus not only affects infants, but seems to target kids as well as elderly people. This virus is not new, and tens of millions of people contract it every year.
Ever felt sandwiched into the middle seat on a flight? Subway knows how you feel. So, with National Sandwich Day fast approaching, they've announced a new campaign, free Subway subs for the person in the sandwich seat. This Wednesday, November 3rd, passengers can post themselves in the middle seat of a plane for the chance to win one of 10,000 gift cards for a foot-long sandwich. The submissions website is only available on November 3rd, however, so Subway plans to offer buy one, get one free promo codes to those who are not taking a flight on November 3rd.
Shout out to all you H-E-B lovers out there. The new Plano location is set to open this Wednesday, which was only 6 weeks after location in Frisco opened. And it is not just those in Plano and Frisco that have something to look forward to. Locations are popping up all over North Texas, with new H-E-B stores expected to be opening in cities like McKinney and Allen. And that's not all with this news on H-E-B. A new facility will be opening up next door to the Plano location that will help fulfill online orders for quick delivery and ease of grocery shopping.
Wow, so they opened 2 stores in like the same 6 weeks? That's pretty extreme.
Yeah, North Texas is heating up really quickly.
Absolutely. Well, what else, is extreme? We all know. The world of sports.
The world of sports. And you know who can tell us about the world of sports? Our sports anchor, Omar.
H-E-B isn't the only thing popping up in North Texas. Soon the Metroplex will be home to a new football team in the XFL. More on that after the break. Yo, that was good.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
Baseball, a game of traditions. If I had a quarter for every time there was a rain delay in Game 3 of the World Series in Philadelphia, then I'd have $1 because this is the 4th time this has happened. The 1993, 2008, and 2009 World Series all had a Game 3 in Philly that was delayed by rain. And yesterday it happened once again. The new start time is tonight at 7:09 with Philadelphia's Ranger Suarez and Houston's Lance McCullers Jr. taking the mound. This game is pivotal as the series is currently tied 1-1. The NFL trade deadline is in a couple of hours, and there's one position in big demand. So far, running backs have been moving like crazy these past 2 weeks, including superstar Christian McCaffrey to the 49ers and James Robinson to the Jets. As the 3 p.m. deadline approaches, the Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, and Rams are teams looking to add a running back to their teams. Popular names being tossed around include Kareem Hunt and Nyheim Hines. As for the Cowboys, they have 2-star running backs of their own, but don't expect them to be moving anytime soon. Good news for football lovers, the XFL has announced that they are coming back. The league owned by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will kick off February 18th of next year, 6 days after Super Bowl 57. There will be 8 teams, 3 of which will be repping the Lone Star State, the Houston Roughnecks, the San Antonio Brahmas, and the Arlington Renegades. And yeah, you heard that right, the Arlington Renegades. At least one team in Arlington reps the city they play in. Looking at you, Cowboys and Rangers. And that is all I have for sports. Back to you at the desk, taking my $1 back.
Well, the annual Halloween parade in New York City took place yesterday amid festivities nationwide. This year, organizers themed the parade over freedom, an event participants could enjoy without judgment. For CNN, Lucy Yang has the story.
It's not a Halloween party without a little thriller. Despite being on a Monday and despite a little rain at the end, it did not disappoint. Leading the procession for the first time, an all-women brass band from Brooklyn. Then came ghouls and goblins and all sorts of scary creatures.
I am Swamp Man of NYC.
The theme this year is freedom. And if there's any parade that's free from rules and restrictions and even reality, it's this one.
My name is Skippy the Skelly, and I'm here to haunt your dreams.
Perhaps the most dreaded costume.
I'm inflation.
We don't like you.
We don't like me. It doesn't look like I'm going to be cleaning my bathroom anytime soon.
Some were ethereal, many bloody. There were slithering snakes and ancient gods. Some went for high art. They let you out of the museum?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for one night only.
Others for high danger.
I'm falling right now.
Oh no!
Yes, it's very dangerous to be a window washer in the city.
With thousands marching and even more cheering, this parade has earned a place on the international bucket list. Emily from Paris just turned 25, and this is exactly where she wanted to spend her birthday.
Amazing! It's amazing!
Dracula was also from France, Glowworm from Boston, the Pumpkin Patch from San Antonio, Texas. These glow pandas, a nod to the Beijing Olympics.
How are you?
I'm Boris, this is Natasha. How you doing, Lucy? I watched you for a lot of years.
If you've been around a lot of years, you'll understand this pair. 10-year-old Irina is from Ukraine, trying to enjoy a night of fun far from the war in her homeland. What do you think of this parade?
Very cool and so beautiful.
The 49th annual New York Village Halloween Parade didn't miss a beat. In the Village, Lucy Yang, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
The Village Halloween Parade began back in 1973, but it's grown over the past 49 years to attract thousands. You know, to be honest, I kind of want to go to that. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it does sound fun.
But anyway, thank you so much for joining us on ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again tomorrow here on North Texas Television.